I study horses, beauty matched only by their strength. I try and capture a little of that as I move on without your face.
They have lots of people over there?
Yeah, they're not very good people.
Good, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Did you get a haircut?
I did. It's good. It was a couple weeks ago.
I was in horseshoeing school, I think, and I found this pamphlet that had nothing to do with the school. It was actually a shoer from Washington that had developed this trim method. His name was Lal Bergelin. He's from Spokane, and he was realigning the hoof capsule with the bones inside and stuff. And then I read an article about the #1 cause of death in elephants, domestic elephants, was that they got over trimmed from the bottom, and that when they should only be trimmed from around the edges because they got too sore. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing with my horses. The idea of vertical depth and breakover as being priorities, and then how you get there. And what happened when I got fired from all those barns is because I had that goal first of increasing angle from the bottom, but I hadn't decreased it from the top first, I was more aggressive on the bottom to try to attain that goal. And I overdid it. I thought about that a lot when I got fired and realized that I needed to change the order I did things in. So then I realized I just need to aim for these proportional measurements of the sound horses on all the horses. And so we're not talking numbers, we're talking proportions. If we just trim them how they grow, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. We have to trim with specific goals around the internal structures and everything that makes them comfortable. Name the attributes of a perfect foot.
Like the way we trim, the way we shoe, we have specific goals in each, and then trim is just mapping out the shoeing.
That we can speak to different aspects of it and be correct, but still be missing other aspects. That's why I'm constantly looking at myself to see what I'm doing wrong.
Because you can really screw a horse with a wedge, or you can save it with a wedge.
The way we trim is everything. To see new feet and stuff, look for it in those terms.
Hey, we're at Skyland Ranch, the beautiful Skyland Ranch, on a brisk morning, and these are the first Skijoring horses I've ever shod, so really excited to do them and then follow along as they go on their first 2 competitions over the next 2 weeks. So, and my wife will be there firsthand to witness, and it'll be really fun to watch, so let's get started.
Hi, I'm Casey Letterman from Skyland Ranch. We are actually gearing up here with Noble Farrier to go Skijoring. We have never done it, but we like to kind of get excited and get our guys and the different things going on at the ranch where we help people build their lives and rise up to the passions that they have. We're always looking for new ways to kind of bring something new to their world. Right now we actually have some guys that are pretty horse savvy cowboys, and some of them that want to get on some skis. So Festus and I are going to go break the ice in this event for the ranch and represent Noble Farrier. We're actually going to bring it back to Washington in February and get some of our guys on skis and give them a new challenge to rise up and complete. We just kind of heard about this through a friend of ours back in Colorado, and it's actually an honor to be asked to come out to do this to celebrate his birthday. And he actually came to the ranch originally as a resident years ago. And he left here, put his life together. Him and his wife have a beautiful life out in Colorado. And this whole thing actually started with them asking me if I would consider coming out there to share his birthday with them. And I literally kind of took it as a joke at first, because I have never done it. We don't do it around here. And it's now kind of opened up this whole new channel of stuff for not just me and representing the ranch and Noble Farrier out there, but also in sharing a pretty special story with a guy that used to live here, and then being able to bring it back to Washington and go attend one in February with our guys right here in our home state.
We, for the very first time in the entire history of the world, are going to apply the Noble Farriery trim methodology to a Skijoring horse. Let's see what happens. Okay, great, Stetson, thank you. All right, Festus came out pretty nice, but I gotta say he's got fantastic feet, especially for a quarter horse, man, beautiful. So, accomplished all our goals, traction, snow protection, fairly well balanced for my first time seeing him, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. He's a really nice horse, very excited.
Yeah, we got some speed built up here. All right. Go ahead, find that edge, sweep to the left. Let's get around all those obstacles. I see 2 flags up right now. That's going to cost us in the long run. He's here pretty soon. Here they come. Clear. I don't think I have ever seen a set of goggles taped around a cowboy hat. That might be a new one on me, even this deal.
This is Shay, and I've known him a long time, and he's kind of adorable. He's pretty old. He has some history of discomfort. The feet were kind of crumbly and shelly here, but I think we got him going back the right direction. So I'm excited to work on him again for this will be the third time. We've already seen a lot of improvement. So we'll do our trim and make some shoes and see where we're at. Is this Shay?
Yep.
We're not going to stop. And then can you flip them so I can see like the toe? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thickness.
Yeah, the thickness.
It's been really good for me to make him his shoes because I can fit his white line. I can make my shoes with a nail line that works really well for his hoof wall, his thin hoof wall. It really helps me get them where they need to be. So on these days when I come to do these horses that don't have a whole lot of growth, I really take that time to kind of refine my trim, refine the balance, find the little places I can change that will make it just perfect without taking too much foot. And there's nothing wrong with taking just a little and letting it grow. And because I measure and because I have a history with this guy, I know that even though there's a pretty good amount of concavity here, we're actually missing sole. It's not that we have a deep foot that needs to be trimmed down in a vertical sense. It's that we have a lack of sole buildup here. I'll tell you, trimming from the top first really helps me see the subtle differences in feet. And when I dress them from the top, it helps me get them more even, more symmetrical. Right front width is 4 7/8. Let me see that one more time. 4 7/8 plus. Left front perimeter is 14 1/2. Right front perimeter is 14 3/4. And condition is 4. I'm really using all my measurements to cross-check myself, double-check myself. So checking his toe length versus the texture of his sole underneath and the amount of concavity, and really just making subtle adjustments this time since he doesn't have a lot of growth to keep him going in the right direction, with the idea of maintaining his comfort first, which means a thick, strong sole. Good. That'll lead to a strong wall and so on and so forth. I can see he's kind of swollen behind in his fetlocks, pasterns, and that almost always goes with the low angle and or a sore foot. And we did hoof test, which we hoof test every time just to know where we're at. And he's definitely sore in both hind feet. They're in better shape now than they have been in terms of hoof wall integrity. But I think we need to add pads here to provide a little bit more support and a little bit more relief in hopes that next time he won't be so sore to the hoof testers. All right.
And also
we can relieve some of the swelling. Really, the swelling is just a symptom of the discomfort. So we gotta, seeing that it's present, we gotta work on seeing if we can help him be more comfortable. His perimeters in front were 15 last time? So that's really good to know. This helps so much to look back at old measurements, see, double check, make sure we're headed in the right direction. 15 does look awfully big on this foot right now. Let's keep going and we'll see where we're at. We'll burn on and see if we need to shorten those heels a little bit. Okay. I always like to pull all 4 shoes and trim all 4 feet at once, specifically because I can look and adjust as we go along. Make small adjustments. I don't trim aggressively because I want to see how everything relates to each other. So I saw that he's His hairline looked high on the outside of this foot as he was standing, and I was going back and forth to other feet, and so I come back to adjust it. So having all 4 shoes off, trimming all 4 feet at once, really beneficial in terms of getting all the feet properly balanced to each other, I guess I would say. I can't tell you how many times I've trimmed a foot, and then after I've finished trimming all the other 3 feet, that foot, the way they stand on it, which is dynamic balance, has changed slightly. All right. Not a whole lot of growth here again. This is our chance to clean things up. Move everything more toward perfect if we can. But the biggest gift I can give him is not over trimming. It's definitely possible to get too deep a foot, but that's hardly ever a problem. Most common problem, of course, is too shallow. There's our texture. Okay. I tend to be pretty conservative, you know, in the beginning, so we've worked with this guy. This will be our 3rd time. And he's had a hoof test every time, so we know there's something at this point that's chronically hurting him in his feet, so we're going to add pads behind, see if we can alleviate it. Seeing that it's been persistent, hasn't improved a whole lot really. And we are headed into the wet season too, which means soft soles, which means they get exfoliated by the gravel really easily, so I think we'll protect them this time and see how it goes. These shoes are horrible. Damn it. I thought these shoes would work for one more reset, but bringing them out of the fire, I could really see how flimsy they were at the toe. And his foot has changed enough that it's a good chance for us to remake him some new ones, fit him a little bit better now, and add pads. Generally, as a rule of thumb, in these concave shoes, when I start to see that the channel disappear at the toe, it's time to make new shoes. Shay has a thin hoof wall, so I got to build a shoe with a thin nail line, a fine nail line. Otherwise, I'm not doing the best for him that I can do. It's important for me to remember because his heels look long on his foot from underneath, but I'm not fitting his foot per se. I'm fitting his leg and therefore his spine. So I want these heels a little long because I want that bottom of his foot to be centered around center of rotation. Of course, the most important thing is that he keeps them on. Two clips in a burn. 2 clips in a burn in the same heat. I'm locked in.
And Russians kind of keep getting moved up. Okay. Yeah, I think so. It'll work. It will get work.
All right, Shay's all set. We're gonna watch him walk here, make sure he looks decently comfortable, and then we'll see next time how everything turns out. We added pads to his hind feet. Want to reduce the swelling because we're making him more comfortable, in essence, behind, and overall increasing angle behind. So, all good signs in the measurements today, and he's ready to go back to his stall and eat his breakfast. He walked off pretty smooth, turned smoothly both directions. So really 6 weeks will tell us how good a job we did today, 6 weeks from now, but all indications are good.
I study horses, beauty matched only by their strength. I try and capture a little of that as I move on without your face. I study horses, my picture